Say hello, everybody. We're today we had some technical issues. That's why we are a few minutes later, and I'm on my regular HP laptop. My MacBook is in my recording studio because I was working on music with my nephew David. He's doing some rapping on the new album coming out. His name is Mob Davey, is his rap name. So he's gonna rap on a couple of tracks coming out. So that's over at the office because he's working on it. So I'm on my HP laptop, and we're going to do the best, guys. Let us know if there's any problems with the audio, any problems with hearing us. I think we'll be okay doing it this way one time, right?
Yep.
Not going to have the music, but we're going to have a lot to chat with and talk about today. Maybe I could play the music on my iPhone real quick if you need to hear that. But that's okay. We could do without music 1 week, right?
Oh, yes.
Well, welcome, everybody. I'm Eric Walker, and sitting next to me is
Captain Rickster.
He's getting a little bit better, but he's still under the weather. So keep him in your prayers, everybody.
Way under the weather.
Keep them in your prayers. So, but yeah, let's get started. And I got a person contacting me on the phone that's at a job site trying to do measurements right now, and I can't speak to them when I'm doing a live broadcast right now. So he's going to have to well, I'll just give it to Captain Rickster. Captain Rickster, you go talk for a second while I go take this emergency phone call in the middle of our broadcast. And I'm going to let him know.
Yes, really, I know this is terrible.
This has been a
very terrible for us, and it's been a bad week.
It's been a good week. No,
it's been a good week. I went to the doctor yesterday. He gave me stronger pain meds. I hope this is going to work a lot better. So if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the laptop down here to see what I'm doing. It's been like so long since I've done any of this stuff the old way. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to it. Hopefully today is the only day we have to do this. That'll be perfect, and get the microphone back in front of me where I can talk. A little more better, a little more easier. But we're working the bugs out of this old system, so it's funny. But yeah, it's happening today, especially today, when we really need it for today's podcast.
So what did you, hey, Captain Rickster, tell them about what you did this week.
Oh, yeah, well, yesterday I went to see the doctor. Doctor gave me stronger pain meds, not Vicodin like I really need. They're not giving out Vicodin like they used to, like candy. Now they're holding back on it to see what's going to happen in other things, which is good. I don't want to get hooked on Vicodin as a painkiller for the rest of my life. So I'm glad he's doing it this way instead of the old way. I'm going to get me a new laptop too, and as soon as I get some money. He's got a Lancer for $150 at Costco, so I'm going to pick up one of those so I can I can stream from home better. But otherwise, everything is hunky-dory as usual.
Yeah, Matthew is telling me he's counting 43 windows instead of 45 windows. It's a pretty big job.
Oh, yes.
But I was reminding him that they added those 2 windows today when I was out there this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not on the sheet, but they just added them today. So just to let him know this, they added them today. So ask her about those 2. Okay, great. When I was out shopping, this just happened on Facebook. But if you guys ever, oh, by the way, let's see who's here. Hey, it's the Stan Solo.
Hi,
Hey,
Stan.
Stan, what's up? Stan's here. Dante's here.
Hi, Dante.
Stan is saying he's been going through the same thing. Been seeing a psychotherapist, getting acupuncture. He's getting acupuncture.
Yeah, that's good.
and it's working wonders. So he says, try that, Captain Rickster. You just discovered that they have a chiropractor. They might ask about acupuncture.
They have acupuncture there too.
So try both those too. So that might help. Have you guys ever tried bacon?
Oh,
dried bacon jerky.
Hmm.
This is from something called We the People. I saw it on Facebook, and it's bacon, like beef jerky, but made with bacon. Woohoo! That looks good.
That does look good.
Try it, Captain Rickster. Tell me what you think. This is maple.
Oh, wow.
Who doesn't like bacon? Especially like bacon jerky. I'm probably making everybody hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get on with the show. Hopefully we don't have too many more interruptions. I apologize, guys, about that. Have some announcements to make. We're supposed to do WonderCon this weekend. I may try to get out there before the end of the weekend and try to get some video, or have my nephew get some video for us. But we apologize we didn't do a live stream from. Can I help you? What you need?
Let's see if I can drink that.
You want a drink? Just ask me, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea to drink after people though. Although my germs won't kill you.
No, I'm not gonna die from it.
But I can get you a drink.
Yes, please. This bacon jerky here is really good but salty.
Here's a fresh one for you, Captain. Oh, that's one apple juice.
No, this will work.
Here you go. For you, my friend. Okay. Wow. You get to eat bacon jerky and get Captain Rickster a Gatorade on this show. On this show of All for Sci-Fi.
Yeah, really.
All right. So hopefully the sound is working okay because we're not mic'd up today. But anyway, as I was saying at the very beginning of the podcast, we're finishing the touches on the We Are Energy album. And my nephew is going to do some rapping on a couple of songs. So that Mac book is over there at the recording studio. So I had to leave it there so he could finish adding his rap parts to it. He's going to rap on for sure Stranger Things, which is Stranger Things is a song that's a tribute to the Netflix show Stranger Things. So hopefully you guys will like that show. We love the show, but hopefully you like the song.
It's a great show.
Yeah. So
it's one I enjoy.
But anyway, it's kind of, he said it's salty. Well, of course bacon's salty, Captain Rickster.
Yeah, but not this salty. But it's good. I like it. I enjoy it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm still trying to make the deadline to get the album out. We Are Energy by April 7th, so that people at Celebration, anybody going to Celebration can enjoy the album that weekend because it has the Magic Hand Dance on it as well. So that's up. Another major announcement is I just signed a contract to do London Film and Comic Con again this year. So I will be going to the London Film and Comic Con in July. That I believe is July, right after the 4th of July, that weekend coming up after that. I think it's July 5th through the 9th. So they were kind enough to invite me again, and I'm happy to go. I haven't been to London in a long time. So I will be making an appearance at the London Film and Comic Con as Mace, bringing special pictures, the script from the Ewok movie, all that kind of stuff. But I will be there July 7th, 8th, and 9th. I wish I would have went to Celebration, but I'm still going to London, but I'm just going to London Film and Comic Con. So that's great. Thank you, Jason, by the way. Some of you might know Jason. He's the promoter, promotes all that stuff for Showmasters. But thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. I've known Jason. I met Jason, wow, a long time ago. I met him at a convention. I think it was the first convention I did. He was there in 2000. I think it was 2001. And it was a show in Holland, in Amsterdam. So that was pretty cool. And then Captain Rickster probably doesn't remember, but Jason was at FedCon last year. He said hi to me. He was there last year, and even though he travels a lot, so he's a great guy. So nice chap. So I'll be doing that, and we just got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about John Wick.
Oh yes.
So we just watched that today. We're going to talk about, and this is John Wick, the final chapter. And spoiler, yes, John Wick dies. Okay, I just said it. Everybody pissed off at me now?
Not yet.
Because now they are. Everybody online right. Did John Wick die? I'm like seeing all this, and yes, he died. Okay. They have to end it somehow, because if he doesn't die, he's going to continue killing people. They're going to keep the table's going to keep bringing him back. They'll find some way to bring him back. He already left and got allowed to leave before, and they keep bringing him back. So the only way he could leave is in death.
That's it.
So, and we're also going to talk, of course, about the Mandalorian, the latest episode, the Bad Batch episode. We only have 2 more episodes left.
Yeah.
And they're both next week.
Right.
You're looking down a lot. Can you look at the camera a little bit?
Sorry.
Yeah, he's on drugs, guys. So he's just
I'm
like
higher.
this.
I'm higher than a flying kite.
He's like this. Actually, even lower, because he's he's on medicine. So, all right. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna also talk about Star Trek Picard, the latest episode, which is really good. And all of it's really good. It's Picard this year is really. What are you doing? Can you look up and stop looking down?
I'm shifting my leg here.
Okay. Okay. So, if you're not well enough, Captain, it's just okay if you stay at home next time and just do the bed thing. Although people think that you're trying to do a different type of show. But if you're just so sick you can't do the show, that's okay. We'll miss you. But,
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like doing the show, so
I do too.
And
so
I don't miss my friends out there.
We're gonna go to the doctor next week again. I'm gonna take you again.
Yep.
And we're going to tell him this is putting you to sleep, and it's now you can't even function. So please just give him the mild pain pill so he can get through his life, because it's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like he's a zombie, dude. Poor Captain Rickster.
I'm more than a zombie.
Even though we have a bromance going and I like to yell at him, I don't want him to see him suffer, but I also don't want to see him like a zombie either. So we need to go back to the doctor, Captain Rickster, next week. And he's going on vacation until April. So how's that going to work?
April 11th. He comes back April 11th.
So, then he acted like he might be there anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. Okay. So what do you want to talk about first?
Oh, let's go Picard first.
Okay. This week's episode of Picard. And this, I forgot the name of this week's episode. I didn't write it up there. But in this week's episode, what they're doing, hold on a second. Who just texted me? Okay, so this week's episode has anyway, this week's episode, basically they're trying to they're still trying to find out what's going on at the Federation. A lot's going on because the Worf and well, let's give the official rating. At All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating of 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars is the best. If it's 3 or less, we don't recommend it, right? This week's episode gets an official All for Sci-Fi rating of 4.75 stars. I wanted to give it a 5-star again, but I've already given so many 5 stars on this season. But it's definitely maybe should even have higher ratings than that. I don't think Captain Rickster watched it because he's having a problem with the system. But the reason why I gave it that rating is it's just still firing. It's firing on all cylinders. I mean, it really is. You got this story, and now finally Worf. We finally get to see Geordi, by the way, in this week's episode.
Good.
He shows up. Worf shows up with Michelle's character, and they got a bunch more information about what the changelings are doing. So it's pretty exciting stuff going on with what's going on with them, and the Titans trying to hide, but they find during this episode that it can't really ever hide, even though they turn off the transponder and ways to hide. That doesn't really work.
Right.
They have safety ways so that the Federation can still find the ship anyway.
Yeah, which is good.
What they found out. And Geordi, who's now way up in Starfleet, shows up, and they go to this like space museum or whatever, where they have. This was a pretty cool episode because in the space museum, Captain Richter, they're showing all the old ships, like the very first ship with that Kirk had, the one with Jonathan Archer was in it. Voyager was in it. Some Klingon ships. It was like this museum in space showing all these different spaceships, which is pretty cool going on. And Picard's son comes up with an idea to distill because the Klingons, they have the cloaking technology.
Right.
So he sees the Klingon ship and says, let's steal the cloaking technology so we could still break into the institute where all the stuff is happening or whatever.
Right.
And where Section 31 has all this hidden stuff, where they put everybody away. And while they're there and they break in, they find data there, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, it's just, again, they said this was going to be a great season, and this is the season that all the Trekkies wanted to send the next generation off into its glory and retirement. They're not kidding. They're doing a great job. It's
I'm glad
hands down is one of the best seasons. It's one of the best Star Trek shows I've seen. Not that they're sending them off in all the glory. It's one of the very best, period, of any Star Trek you've ever seen, because it still has the quirkiness, the intelligence of Star Trek, and now it's got a lot of action, like Star Wars. So it's the best of both worlds, really. So, yeah, 4.75 stars for this week's episode of Picard. Can't wait to see what happens next. There's lots of stuff going on. What do we want to do next, Captain Richter? Let's just try to do this as quick as we can today. We're going to roll through this really quickly because he's fading. Yes. What did you see?
I didn't see anything this week. I've been so in and out of my drugs that
I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have had you on the show.
Let's talk about what's that one?
So did you watch Bad Batch? Did you watch Mandalorian? What did you watch?
I watched the Bad Batch. I didn't get a chance to watch the Mandalorian.
Okay, let's talk about you watched Bad Batch?
Yeah, I watched the Bad Batch.
Okay, so you didn't see the Mandalorian, huh?
No.
With the Foundling. That was a cool episode. Well, let's talk about what you did see. You saw John Wick. Let's go to John Wick real quick.
John Wick, I loved. It was these guys. It had a lot of action in it, and a lot
over the top.
A lot of over the top graphics and stuff like that. The kids should not watch. It is a rated R movie. Thank God on that part. But it's enjoyable. I would give it myself probably a 4.995 on this movie. He'll probably give a different one because I like John Wick and I hate to see it finish, but it's gonna have to go like everything else around here. So my hat's off to those guys. I don't have my hat anyway, so I gave it to them. But yeah, it was an awesome movie. The way it started off was really interesting. So yeah, that's my opinion. The best part about the whole movie was him finally getting fatally shot this time, and he died at near the end, and came back at near the end of the podcast. So yeah, it's definitely A1 material. So go see this one.
Right.
I'm done.
That was quick. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, my problem with Wick was I like the over the top. Yes. I do like it, but then it was over the top, over the top, over the top, meets over the top, meets over the top. It became like
repeated
10 times more over the top than you could get when it's over the top. That's what my problem was.
That's true.
And that's okay still. But they could have shortened the movie and not had so much over the topness, because it was a long movie. It was over. It felt like it was 3 hours, but it was definitely well over 2 hours.
Yes.
They could have cut easily 20 to 30 minutes from the movie, made it a tighter movie, then it wouldn't have been so over the top.
Yeah.
That's my only and my gripe. But we also didn't say the rating system. Okay, so the rating is let's give the official rating. All for sci-fi, as you know, 5 stars is the best, 3 stars or less. I'm gonna give this a 4. I think it deserves 4.5 stars because of how great the movie really is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's a 5-star movie. In fact, I don't think it's as good as the Parabellum, John Wick 3. I thought
3.
John Wick 3 was the best other than the first one.
Right.
So
it's a real, like I said, I gave it a 4.95 and not a 5.0 because it's not as good as part 3. So it's even he was asking me questions and says, "Well, do you remember this before?" And I go, "Yeah, I remember this." I didn't have the fanfare like John did with all the people killing all the people, but yeah, I remember. I remember tight corners like that, and tight places of shooting people. It just brings back old memories. What it does in my business line of business back in the day when I was younger, I was less irate pain to, you know, actually got to sit down and actually enjoy a movie that I had been in originally. I wasn't John Wick or anything like that. I wasn't that great, but I was good enough to them to keep the file on a few of my kills and how I did things, and they're using them to train people today on that website, which is really good.
hold on, guys. Give me a minute here. More drama.
Yeah, I'm trying
Give me
to
a second, guys, while you're talking.
pick up this slack here, so and I don't talk this much usually.
Yeah, you do talk a lot, Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I'm talking. I'm getting tired. I'm about ready to fall asleep. Now that's odd, but yeah, it's something different, and it was really enjoyable.
Every busy. Everybody won't leave me alone today. It's like I'm gonna turn my phone off in a minute here. This is not fair to you guys.
No, it's not.
No, it's like they all know that we're on live on TV, and they just won't leave me alone.
That's true.
Give me 1 second. So tell them what your favorite thing was about John Wick.
My favorite one was when they got out there on the outside and you see daylight coming, and they're supposed to meet at daylight on their saving time for the people to. They had like all night to prepare to kill John Wick in this movie, and he just can't die. I mean, it's really that's about the best part of the whole thing. He just can't die, and neither can that dog. That dog was shot a few times, and he didn't die either, which I thought was great. So no animals, no cruelty to the animals, anything like that. Where it was in this movie. Because I'm an animal lover. Most people don't think I am, but I am. What else I think of?
Yeah, I mean, whoa, that guy wanted to kill him for money, but then decided not to kill him for money because he saved his dog. That was a cool moment.
That was a cool moment.
That because the whole thing about all the John Wick movies is the dog.
Yeah, always.
The thing about the dog this time is John Wick didn't have his dog.
No, he had someone else's dog.
The guy who was just tracking him, who was waiting until the bounty got up so high that he was going to kill John Wick, he had a dog.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and then when he was about ready to kill John Wick, he saw that John Wick killed the guy who was going to kill his dog and saved his dog's life. So that changed how he felt about John, which is cool. It's a cool moment.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
And don't say grown men can't cry, because that's a lie.
Who says that?
I don't know. Someone did, and we do cry. I broke down yesterday in front of my friend Steve And my emotions just couldn't handle it no more.
Oh, Dante's talking about bacon.
Yeah, that's good. Bacon's good for you.
Never heard of it. He doesn't like bacon, but he'll eat it if someone puts it on a plate. That's just like as Italians. If you refuse to eat, it's an insult. That's true.
It's true.
That's true, Dante.
Very true.
So if I give you bacon, you better eat it, Dante. You hear me?
Yeah, really.
You better eat that bacon. If I give it to you, all right? Make a good meatball for you, Dante.
Yes. A bacon meatball.
No, a bacon meatball.
That would be funny.
So if I put a bacon meatball on your plate, you're gonna eat it, Dante?
I hope so.
No, but that's true. It's not just Italians. I think my grandmother would get insulted.
Yeah,
if you didn't eat. That's like old school in everybody, right?
Yes.
Capiche, yeah, capiche. That's like old school. It's great. Italians have always been that way, but I think even my grandmother was that way. Probably your grandparents were that way.
They were.
The old folks, they love to eat, right?
Oh, they love to eat bacon for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is not too crispy. This is from something called We the People, and I just saw it on Facebook, and they got me. They got me to click on it and buy it. So Facebook does work with some people, right, like me.
Yeah.
So.
As long as he enjoys it, that's the best
thing. It is
thing
salty though. Now that
it is, could get an aftertaste.
Yeah, I'm starting to taste it now. Okay, so back to John. My favorite part was when he saved the dog, of course.
Yes.
And he just went through hell, John Wick.
Oh, hell, I'm back.
And what was really shocking about this movie was the guy that just died, Lance. That Lance guy.
Uh-huh.
And at the beginning, they put in memory of Lance. I think his name's Lance Reddick.
Yeah, Lance Reddick.
In the movie, he dies. He gets killed. That's what shocked me.
Yeah.
And then in real life, he died. Yeah. So it's like right in the beginning, to make an example of Winston and what was going on with Continental Hotel, to make an example of them, the table. Was trying to take care of John Wick, so they have this other guy higher up. They ended up blowing up the Continental. They blew up the entire hotel at the beginning,
the whole thing,
and they ended up shooting and killing his concierge.
Yep.
And that guy, the guy dies right near the beginning of the movie, and that was kind of shocking. It's like he just died in real life.
Yeah.
So, Stan's saying Gotham Knights started this week. The first episode was on. We'll have to watch it. Gotham Knights. Yeah, let's watch it. We'll start reviewing that. But yeah, that was kind of shocking, and it wasn't the movie was like a nice tribute to him anyway. The way they talked about him, how he was a friend, and
they wanted to give him a good send off, good tribute for what he's done.
How ironic in the movie he dies, and then he dies right before the movie comes out. That was like woo!
Yep, that's
that woo moment.
Yes,
and they didn't tell anybody he died in it, but that would be but it was kind of weird that he dies and then dies in real life right before it comes out. And that happened with that guy that played the Joker. He died in real life too.
Oh,
right? Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, yes.
Yeah, he died in real life too, which was kind of sad.
They gave him a send off too.
Yeah, it was too young.
Yes, they both were young.
So, like Billy Joel said, only the good die young, right?
That's right.
Well, I guess.
I haven't died yet, so
you're not young though, Captain Rickster. So
I've been trying.
Yeah, young is someone young. Well, 65 is not young.
I'm still young.
Well,
I'm young.
Well, compared to someone who's 80, yeah, my dad's 87, be 86, 87 this year. He's definitely not young.
No,
that's for sure.
But
you're not a little whippersnapper anymore. Life spit at you already.
Oh, he's
a little bit.
Spit out and spit me back.
I used to have a friend that used to go all the time about how you're just a child living in a man's world. Life hasn't even spit at you yet.
Yeah.
He used to tell me that all the time, and I never got it until a few years ago. And now I go, I understand what he's talking about now that I'm in my 50s. He was right. Yeah. I was just a child when he was saying that. But it's one of those learning moments. So yeah, John Wick, go see it. 4.5 stars. Definitely a great movie. A little bit over the top, a little bit long, but still a good movie. So I hope it does well. It's a good. I think it's the last one because obviously John Wick died, unless they pretended like he died and he really didn't die. unless they faked it. And they could do that.
They
could
do that easy.
Yeah, how easy is it? Like if you could do Avatar and make it so someone's mind got put in a computer, and they keep bringing back the bad guy, or bringing back that Sigourney Weaver's character, who now she's a Navi. If you could do that, why can't you bring John Wick back and say, oh, he really didn't die? So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
down the wrong windpipe, huh?
Yeah, it's going to happen. I've already seen that part of the future where people, I guess, will be AI units, and we'll have different brains, different thinking patterns, stuff like that.
The thing we didn't talk, and that's the key, you know, once they find a way for our consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, the brain part, our soul, or whatever you want to call it, once they figure out a way to put that somewhere, we can live forever.
Yes.
Just like they talk about in the Avatar. Mm-hmm. But today we didn't talk about this, but this is today's unboxing, everybody. It's from Star Wars: The Black Series, from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
This is the Fifth Brother Inquisitor. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the Fifth Brother Inquisitor here in a few minutes here, and I want to try to wrap this up and not make it too long, but we got a lot to talk about, guys. Sorry.
That's true.
These days the shows are longer because there's just so much to talk about. So we did John Wick. Let's go ahead and talk about something else you saw. The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
We'll keep that on a train.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, the Bad Batch. This episode was called Tipping Point.
Yes.
It is episode, I believe, 14. Mm-hmm. And I actually put that in the screen on the thing. So Tipping Point. And there's only 2 more episodes left. They're both going to premiere next week. The Summit and Plan 99 are both coming out next week. So we're going to get 2 episodes of the Bad Batch next week. But let's talk about this week. The Tipping Point gets an official All for Sci-Fi rating of, I'm going to give it 4.75 stars. I don't think it's a 5-star, but it's close. What do you give it, Captain Rickster?
I'm going to give it 4.85.
4.85, okay. And of course, now we're finding out more about what's going on with what they're trying to do with clones, and letting this guy do all these weird experiments on people. One of my favorite part of this episode, and then Captain Rickster could say his, my favorite moment in this episode, even though it's just a moment, because it brought me back and it reminded me of the original Star Wars movie. But when they were using that black droid, that probe droid that they use, I remember that from they were gonna use, Darth Vader was gonna use it on Princess Leia.
Right.
I think so. I think that's true, unless I'm thinking about something else. But it's that droid to try to get information out of people. It's been around forever, and we got to see it in a Bad Batch, and see how strong Crosshair is.
Really a great TV show.
We got to see how strong Crosshair is, and his message got out too. So, but they're wondering if it's just a trap and they want to get him. But no, I think Omega got to Crosshair too.
I do too.
In a short time, and he cares about Omega. So I think that's the tipping point in all of this, is the fact that he does want to get out. He wants to get out and help Omega. And then we also got to see that they're after that earthquake on Pabu, they're making great work there. They're getting a lot done, which is pretty cool. And Hunter and all of them are really thinking about settling down, thinking about Echo shows up too, because he needs to find out the information that they got from the ship that they attacked. And they originally were trying to help some brothers escape, but they found that's when they got this information, and they're trying to unravel it, and they find out what's going on. So I mean, it's just great episode this week. Again, Bad Batch is where it's at. It's one of the best. Every week I say this, I can't believe it's it's not live action. It feels like it's live action. It doesn't feel like an animated show. It's done so well. So yeah, that sound, that's what I'm talking about. Stan Solo is talking about that sound the droid makes.
Oh yeah.
When they're interrogating it, the classic sound. It reminded me of old school Star Wars, and they used the same sound. That was my favorite part. Did you have a favorite part in this episode, Captain Rickster? And everybody, write down what your favorite part is too of this week's episode of the Bad Batch while we're at it.
Yeah, mine was when Omega was talking to Crosshair. and persuade him to come back to his friends and her. And he was glad and happy to come back. And
I
he
think you're
did.
talking about someone else. I don't think, because Crosshair is the one that's being interrogated that warned them. So you think you're talking about Echo showed up.
Echo showed up, yeah.
And she jumped into his arms.
Yes.
Because I missed you, and he goes, "It hasn't been that long. It feels like it's been forever." You know how kids are. That was
Really?
that was a cool moment.
That was a cool moment, yes.
Yeah, but Echo is what you're talking about.
Echo, yeah.
Echo is a great character. All the Bad Batch characters are done by all the clones are done by D. Bradley Baker. And D. Bradley Baker, if you ever see this, you're the man.
That's right.
If anybody wants to be a voiceover, talented voiceover artist, there's lots of them. But D. Bradley Baker, you're the man. I said that. Mace said that. Someone played this for him. I can't believe how great you are. Yes, I can. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but someone to look up to, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I love doing voices. I think my record's okay. I can't do all the Bad Batch people unless I really sit there and listen to the voice. But you're doing a great job. It's great. Michelle Ang, who does Omega, does a great job too.
Yes, she does.
Wanda Sykes, who's now doing the stuff, is great. But let's that's it for the Bad Batch, guys. Let's go ahead and do the unboxing of the Inquisitor Fifth Brother. And speaking of Fifth Brother, Night Sisters come from the Ewok movie as well. So Dante says he got caught up on the Mandalorian this week.
Oh.
So he finally got caught up on it. You really need to watch this week's episode. We're gonna play it for you when we get done with the show. It's really a good episode, Captain Rickster.
Oh, I believe it is. They've been doing great stuff on the Mandalorian.
Here it is, Fifth Brother. This is a great character too, from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I can't wait. I hopefully in Celebration next month they announce that they're doing a Kenobi season 2. That would be my hope, because I really like Kenobi. Kenobi was a really good show. Deborah Chow did a really great job. The bad guy. Really good articulation. His torso moves pretty good too. Look at that. Moves pretty good. As always, the joints here are a little off. Like he's got a really neat looking boot. Look at that boot. Wow, that's a big, oversized
boot.
Yeah, boot or shoe or whatever you want to call it. He's a great character, and of course he's got the lightsaber, the one that's a lot like Darth Maul's, the double lightsaber, and the sister, whatever the fourth sister, whatever her name is, has one of these too. So. Speaking of that, since Celebration is coming up, what is it while we're talking about and showing this? What are you guys hoping that they will announce at Star Wars Celebration, or the most? Or what are you looking for as well? Are you excited to see if they're going to do an Ahsoka? If they're going to do like an Ahsoka trailer? Are they going to maybe do a trailer with the Skeleton Crew? Maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll make an announcement finally for a new Star Wars movie. What are you most excited about watching and hopefully having announcements? It's going to be live stream, so at least we get to see it, right? So
I like to see a movie.
Yeah, it's time to get us back into movies. Okay, so as you know, at All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating system on the toys as well. 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars is the best. I'm going to give this Fifth Brother Inquisitor. I like this one. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It's not, and it's only because it doesn't have a lot of accessories. It only has this lightsaber, double-bladed lightsaber, but it's a really cool-looking figure. Look at it. Here, Captain Rickster, to help wake you up if you're falling asleep.
Yes.
So 4.5 stars I give it. So
give me a minute here.
There's an Ahsoka panel. Okay. So Stan's hoping he could see. I don't know if we're going to get to see. Are they going to stream the panels, the entire panels? That would be great if they did that. I don't remember if they did that or not. I'm too busy working, trying to do the show and cover it for All for Sci-Fi, so I didn't see everything in the live stream. What is Dante saying? Yeah, I do. I take the kids over to the TV a lot. I'm working on a movie screen room. That's cool. Stan's predicting that in the Star Wars line that a new Star Wars line will be announced for Disneyland Paris. Okay, that would be cool. If Paris got their own Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, that would be great. Because we don't have that. We only have that here in Florida.
Yeah, I'll give it a. Would you give it?
I give it 4.5 stars.
I'm gonna give you the same thing, 4.5.
Uh-oh.
Because the articulation.
It's okay
it's
here.
Good,
I like it. The torso move, the
not,
hands move. This is a little bit
stiff on the ankles and also on the knee joint.
Well, and there's ways to fix that with like water, hot water or soap or stuff like that, from what I've heard. So there you go. There you have it. The Fifth Brother Inquisitor. There we go. All right, let's move on to the last final thing we're going to talk about today, and that is the show everybody keeps talking about, Star Wars and Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was the latest episode. It's called The Foundling. So, and the reason why it's called The Foundling is because in the Mandalorian culture, Captain Rickster, when kids are training and they're young, they call them foundlings. And during this episode, and let's give the rating too. At All for Sci-Fi, you have a rating system 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars is the best. I'm going to give the Foundling. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I don't want to quite give it a higher 4, but 4.5 stars. It was a really good show, and we got to see a proud daddy, because Amando was able to go ahead and he got Grogu. He was able to get Grogu all excited, and he got him to like train with another kid. And then at first Grogu didn't know what to do, but he wanted to make his dad proud, so he used the Force and did this huge flip over the boy and back, and then shot him 3 times and ended up winning the match, which is cool. And then right after that, the Foundling gets captured by this dragon creature, which looks a lot like the dragon creature in Ewoks: A Battle for Endor that grabbed Sindel and took her away running. So it looks a lot like that. So I'm wondering if you get your ideas still from the Ewok movies, guys. Wouldn't be surprised.
I think they do.
So it looked a lot like that. And so now they have to have a rescue mission and to go and help rescue the Foundling. And Bo-Katan led the mission. It was great. Every part of it was good. Nothing to complain about. It was a little short. I wish it was a little bit longer. But I liked every bit of it. I liked how the armorer was talking to Grogu and telling him a little bit more about the Mandalorian culture. And she made this new Beskar steel plate for him to protect him.
Oh yeah.
And said, now you are a foundling. After she put that on Grogu and said, you have to start doing stuff. And that was cool. And then the fact that even though the creature died and was eaten by that
other creature,
I thought you said you didn't see it.
I know what you're thinking. And I wanted to finish that sentence for you.
It was eaten by the alligator creature. They brought the babies. So now we have 3 little condor dragon creature babies. And Bo says, you got some more foundlings you got to train. Like, can you imagine when they grow up if they're trained by humans?
Oh, yeah.
What they could do with that. And then Bo-Katan talks to her about a little bit about seeing the mythosaur. And Bo-Katan made a huge change. She made new armor for Bo-Katan, and she asked to not only have her night owl, but she wanted her night owl with the mythosaur. So she made a change to her house and the way her signet looks, which is really cool. So that's it. I mean, it was a great episode again this week. All of it was good. It was a great week for sci-fi. And again, guys, I apologize. We had a lot going on this week. I apologize for the lighting, the sound not being as good. That's being hooked up. But we're trying to get things done, and we have a new album coming out April 7th, and lots of exciting stuff in the next week. Next week, we will review Dungeons and Dragons, which we didn't talk about. That's actually coming out next week. So Dungeons and Dragons will be next week. The latest episodes of Picard, the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, and Mandalorian. Got a lot to talk about next week, guys. But thank you guys for joining us. May the Force be with you always.
Yes.
Live long and prosper, and may God be with you guys this week. Stay safe.
Yep, definitely stay safe out there.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right, people. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. and be safe out there, please.
All right, later. And Captain Rickster, we're going to get you on new medications. You're not